The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Commission on Elections will enforce new in-person campaign guidelines as the campaign period starts tomorrow. The COMELEC reiterates that house-to-house campaigning and crowding remain prohibited. Any physical contact, taking selfies, and distributing food, drinks, and other goods are also not allowed. Presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao meanwhile urges the poll body to loosen restrictions on campaigning.
Pati yung selfie, pagbabawalan mo. Pati yung pagbibigay ng t-shirt, pagbabawalan mo. Huwag naman. Maging ano naman tayo, abogado pa naman ang gumawa nun. Isipin na lang natin, hindi yun makatao para sa akin.
The National Vaccines Operations Center says the COVID-19 vaccination for kids age 5 to 11 is going smooth so far. NVOC Chairman Mirna Kabutahe told 1PH that some jab sites have revised their schedules after the delayed delivery of vaccine supply. But officials have not encountered other issues so far, even on side effects.
Pero maganda ang unang bugso ng ating bakunahan na maraming dumating yung mga pre-registered. Happy naman ng mga bata.
Kabutahe assured parents that the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine has been proven safe and effective for children age 5 to 11. To date, it is the only shot that has emergency use approval for the age group.
Ang ating garantiya ay itong special formulation, age-appropriate Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer lang po ang may approval ng emergency use authorization ng Philippine FDA. Kung may approval siya, guaranteed po ang safety at efficacy niyan.
Meanwhile, Makati prosecutors have dismissed the consolidated complaints on the case concerning the death of flight attendant Christine Dacera. Now, this means Dacera's companions have been cleared of drug violation in other cases resulting in homicide. Counter complaints, including slander, filed against Dacera's mother and some relatives have also been junked. Dacera was found dead in a hotel room in Makati City on New Year's Day of 2021. Indigenous people living near Angat Dam and water authorities are doing what they can to manage the decreasing water level of the reservoir. Shaila Francisco tells us more.
Amid the scorching heat, members of the Dumaga tribe performed the rain dance ritual in the Angat Dam. From the view deck down to the waters, they took turns doing the ritual, which is a combination of singing, dancing, offering a chicken and drinking alcohol for cleansing. This is done to ask the higher power for rain.
Alaman namin yung mga tanim tulad po ng panggulay, namamatay po sa init kung walang ulan. Sa amin po, napakalaki pong pakinabang ang Angat Dam.
Ang tinatawag namin itong weather supplication ritual para makatulong sana para magkaroon ng ulan dito sa ating watershed. Ang ating Angat Dam kasi is purely rainforest. So nag-base lang siya o supported lang siya ng ulan.
Water level in Angat Dam has been decreasing since the start of the year.
Normally around this time, water level here in Angat Dam reaches up to the soil, but now water level, as you can see, is very low. It's around 196.29 meters, 16 to 17 meters short compared to the previous years. According to MWSS, it will take 2 to 3 typhoons to fill up this dam again.
To manage the water level of Angat Dam, the National Water Resources Board cut the allocation for irrigation this month. From 32 cubic meters per second, it's now at 20 cubic meters. This is seen to affect farmers in Bulacan and Pampanga. The NWRB says they are prioritizing supply for Metro Manila. But water allocation for the region might decrease in case the dam's water level reaches below the minimum operating level of 180 meters. The latest projection is that it will happen by May or June.
Pag mas mababa na kasi sa 180, may mga level dyan na baka kailangan baka hindi na rin kakayanin, no? Na kailangan mag-adjust ng allocation.
Currently, water allocation for Metro Manila is at 48 cubic meters per second. For now, they are hoping that the rituals can help prevent any water interruption in households and irrigation in the coming months. Shaila Francisco, We Are One News.
The Philippine women's football team is back home after qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Marty Bautista with a story.
It's hope. For me, it's really hope that the future is bright for Philippine football, and not just for women's, young boys as well.
With a chance to make history, and she does. The Philippines.
Hope for Philippine football is what the Philippine women's national football team fought for when they qualified for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. The message of the Filipinas is simple, that women's football is worth investing in, and they hope their achievements have given faith for players to continue pursuing their dreams. The Filipinas arrived last weekend from the AFC Women's Asian Cup in India, where they qualified for the World Cup and entered their first semifinals in the tournament. National team veteran Ina Palacios emphasized that the feat didn't come easy, since they had to sacrifice time with family and work, even missing the Christmas and New Year's holidays just to train for the Cup. But for them, their sacrifice was worth it.
It's giving hope to the younger generation, as what we would always say. It's for them, it's to them, it's dedicated to them, it's for their future.
Center back Haley Long shared how their families had supported them throughout the competition.
Yeah, they stayed up. All of our families stayed up at any hour of the day to watch our games and to cheer us on and to give their comments about the games. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the girls.
It's also the first time for some of the Filipinas like Malaya Cesar, Katrina Galu, and Kiara Fontanilla to visit the Philippines. Many of the players that make up the squad actually grew up abroad. But according to Kiara, this doesn't make them any less Filipino.
Being here in the hometown, I love how everyone is so welcoming, and being able to share it with my newfound family has been great. We've had a lot of fun, I think. And we're all Filipino. There's no such thing. We're not Filipino enough. We all have a heart of Philippine gold.
The journey doesn't end for the Philippine women's national football team after qualifying for the World Cup. In fact, this marks the beginning of a new story. The Filipinas are set to compete in another tournament, including the Southeast Asian Games, which will happen in May.
We have 3 fixed competition for our women team this year. The first will be the 31st Southeast Asian Games in Hanoi, Vietnam, which will be held on May 12 this year. And of course, the team has to prepare for that. And the next one will be the ASEAN Football Federation Women Championship, which will be held in the Philippines.
For News 5, Marty Bautista. We are One News.
Now here's a quick look at today's other top stories. Benhar Abalos has resigned as MMDA chairman effective today to serve as campaign manager for presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Abalos said that he needs to devote his time to managing Marcos Jr.'s activities as campaign period starts tomorrow. The Education Department has allowed the expansion of face-to-face classes to other grade levels in public and private schools. DepEd said that the inclusion of more grade levels will depend on the school's adherence to health protocols. So far, only kindergarten, grades 1 to 3, and senior high school have been allowed to hold in-person classes. And a number of bar examinees have been disqualified for violating the honor code. Bar exams chairperson Associate Justice Marvic Leonen said some examinees did not disclose that they've been previously tested positive for COVID-19. Now others meanwhile smuggled mobile phones inside the rooms and used social media during lunch break. Leonen clarifies that the disqualification only applies to this year's examinations. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.